Good morning, everyone. It's been a wonderful weekend here, and I got to do with two of my grandchildren to do the last project on the list, which was tie-dye. And it was so much fun. Again, yes. Okay, so uh, one of my daughters had a kit, and then another kit, so we kind of combined it all. And we had the t-shirts, and I have a couple of curtains, or a set of curtains that I wanted were white. I thought, oh, well, yeah, that'd be nice. Again, something that then I can take home, hang up on probably the doors that we have that goes into the one room, and look at that every day and be reminded of what? Yes, the wonderful summer I had here with all of my grandchildren. And so I got it all ready, and tie-dye, right? Yes. Well, why don't I wear gloves? I did, but it was like one of those things where gloves on. Okay. Eventually I just said, forget it. It'll come off eventually. But the kids, they did definitely had everything on they needed to have on. And so the bottles were already all ready, and I tried to explain to them how it works. They got so into it. It was like, yeah, there were different colors, but hey, psh, psh, psh. It all kind of turned into one color. So I don't know yet. I'm gonna wait. They sat overnight in plastic, as the instructions said, and then tonight when they get home from school, and when they're all here, then I'm going to snip the rubber bands and see what they created, right? Yes, definitely I'm gonna wait, right? Yeah. And so they can be part of the process all the way through. Yeah. Okay. So, but it was one of those. So there was all this. They said soak it good. I mean, make sure that it's nicely soaked through the colors and stuff. And sure, the Band-Aid sure soaked it well. And there was all this leftover in the plastic. And I'll waste that. So I poured it back into another container, and then it was like this purpley brown something color, and I just put that back in. Filled 3 bottles with it, small bottles, and you reuse that again too. For mom and dads. It was fun. And as I said, I just ended up stepping back to. I don't think they need any instructions. They're having fun doing it, right? And at that age, what, 8, 7 and 4, right? It isn't about making the best looking tie-dye t-shirt. It's just about having fun doing it, right? Knowing how something gains color, right? On a piece of clothing, for example, and for them to see that. So, anyway, so it was a lot of fun, and I just stepped back and went, okay, you guys just go ahead. I'm probably going to be asked, Rosie, why can't I see any more red? Why can't I see any more green? Oh my God, well, because you guys mixed up all the colors very well. I have to say that all 4 t-shirts for Dad and Mom and the 2 children look very, very similar. They'll have the family look going with those tie-dye shirts. Yes. And my curtains go right along with it. Well, the wash will tell. Some of these colors were already mixed up, which if one does that, you should use them up right away. I have no idea how old they were and how much they've lost of the concentration of the color while it was already mixed up. So we'll see. Looks good. Right now, if one were to not have to rinse them and wash them, then they look, colored. Yeah. All right, all right, all right. So, another, yes. There's another thing I've noticed. Yes. I don't just study other people, I study myself as well. And I've noticed on how, knowing now that my time here comes to an end, okay, I do have a couple more weeks here, right? Not just a week like I thought. But still, knowing that I have cleaned up a lot of things, it's, it comes out in sadness. Yes, yeah, to have to, and I get teary-eyed every time I think about it. I start to tear up and feel like yep, the separation's gonna come. Yes, yeah. Well, the thing, I'm not a person that shows emotion easily in front of other people easily. It just not. It's never something that not a card I play with people very rarely, and then I feel like I'm playing the card. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't know. It's just me. And by the time then, not doing this now. By the time then when it's time to go, I'm not gonna break down in a complete. Yes. Uh-huh. How emotional am I really on the inside, right? Yes. I have this exterior of just, yeah, yes, always got a solution, always have advice, always have, right? Yes. And the strength within me, coming, of course, from where, from whom, yeah. And yet, I'm a very, very emotional being on the inside. I feel everything very, very keenly. Yes. And I surprise myself sometimes. Yes. Like with, yes. I easily transition from one place to the next. And then, yes, it's not a big deal for me. I just adjust. Right? If one would want to compare me to an animal, one could say I'm a chameleon. Though my grandchild, my oldest granddaughter, you're like a sloth, Rosie. Oh, I guess now I'm a bit like a sloth. Anyway, cute. So, yes. Why am I telling you this? Well, one should not judge a book by its cover, right? Yes. And get to know a person rather than taking the cues from others who may not know the person either, or have not ever really made a deeper connection or more than just a superficial, oh yeah, that's my friend, right? Rather than, that is my friend. And the experiences that go with having a friend, and having friends, yes, having family, having neighbors, connection to your country, truly, and the experiences that go with it, yes. I think a lot of heartache and a lot of misunderstandings and slander, gossip, I don't know what goes with, could be avoided that way, yes. I don't think it's wrong to tell someone, I don't know that person. How well do you know that person? What I might mention in another video. Oh, is that true? Did you talk to that person? Is that how it actually happened? Is that what they actually said? Or through so many mouths that it has wandered, and ears that it went in and out again? Is it still what was said in the beginning, in the origin? All right, let's get started. We are in 1 Samuel 16. Saul and David. Super chapter 3. David at court. A. David is anointed. Yahweh said to Samuel, "How much longer do you mean to go on mourning over Saul, now that I myself have rejected him as ruler of Israel? Fill your horn with oil and go. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem, for I have found myself a king from among his sons." Samuel replied, "How can I go? When Saul hears of it, he will kill me." Yahweh then said, "Take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to Yahweh. Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I shall reveal to you what you must do. And you will anoint for me the one I indicate to you." Oh, is Samuel really talking to God, and is God really talking to Samuel? Because again, what did God say to begin with when the people wanted a king? It's not working out. It hasn't really worked out. Or according to Samuel, things aren't going the right way. So God would appoint another king. If this were true, and this really would have happened in this way, where Samuel got instructions from God, and God's now okay with the Israelites having a king, rather isn't letting Samuel know, well, if that's what the people want, they don't want me as their guide in life. I should be above everyone. How is that? There shouldn't be a king. Why didn't he do that to begin with? He told Saul, "Okay, go, Samuel, go out and find someone then. Find a king for Israel." And in a way then, to connect that king to God, to Yahweh anyway, Samuel made up, in my belief, made up all kinds of things, right? Yes? As if. And the people looked up to Samuel. So, oh, okay, God's okay with it. Yeah, And here, now Samuel goes out and says, "Well, I'm instructed. And already had told Saul before, God's already looked for someone else. He already found somebody else." Or is this all just Samuel's own wishful thinking? Why isn't he going out now as the guide of the Israelites, guided by God, and says, "It didn't work out. We need to look to God for guidance, not some king." Huh? Yes? How deep was Samuel's connection truly to God? And one has to remember that Samuel basically grew up without parents. Oh, Eli? No mother. Yeah, mother went and visited him, once a year? Is that how a child should grow up? What has Samuel missed out on when it came to parental love? And now struggles with direction himself, getting from the ultimate parent, right? Well, again, how is this written down? We know from past readings here on how God truly felt about a king in Israel. And Samuel's making it as, oh yeah, yep, it's God who put. Now it sounds like God put the king in place, didn't he? It's not true though. I'm trying, Father. I'm trying for the truth to be heard. And here we go. Samuel did what Yahweh ordered. It doesn't say Samuel did what Yahweh said or suggested or, ordered, as if he's obeying now God's command. But he didn't obey it beforehand, did he? No. When God said, let them do what they want then. Obviously they don't want me. They're rejecting me. Isn't that a plea from Yahweh, from God to Samuel? Hey, shouldn't I be the most important thing? What are the first 2 commandments? And went to Bethlehem. The elders of the town came trembling to meet him and asked, "Seer, is your coming favorable for us?" Trembling. Why are they afraid? Oh. "Yes," he replied. "I have come to sacrifice to Yahweh. Purify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice." He purified Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice. When they arrived, he looked at Eliab and thought, this must be Yahweh's anointed now before him. But Yahweh said to Samuel, take no notice of his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. God does not see as human beings see. They look at appearances, but Yahweh looks at the heart. Oh, that's interesting. Here I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is not, this is right there. This is true. God looks at the heart, not the appearance. Yes? Yes. And God would definitely choose, right, a little boy. He would. I find it interesting on how this is already, in a way, right, grooming us towards what? I have no doubt that it would be difficult for anyone to accept a child as a king or a queen, this or that, right? Yes? Unless, of course, you're the one who's in charge of the child and has more power really than the child. And then, of course, what course is that taking? Then the child's not really a king or a queen or whatever. It's the adults around the child who make all the decisions. Yes? Oh. Mm-hmm. And then using suddenly now, oh, God doesn't look at outer appearance. God looks at the heart. So they know. They know. They know. They do know, in a way, on how God works. And now they're using that. In what way? Interesting. Doesn't it always, everything I say beforehand, doesn't it always go kind of right along with Father, I'm sorry. Jesse then called Abinadab and presented him to Samuel, who said, Yahweh has not chosen this one either. Jesse then presented Shammah, but Samuel said, Yahweh has not chosen this one either. Jesse thus presented 7 of his sons to Samuel, but Samuel said to Jesse, Yahweh has not chosen these. My feeling is already that Samuel's looking at everyone and going, we need someone that we can control. I can control still. Right? Yes? Not someone that's already in the prime of their age, already has families, this and that. We need someone we can control and guide. I can control and guide. Okay. Then according to God's will, well, I don't know. It's not God's will to have a king. Done. For them to have a king. So, but that's what I'm thinking. Samuel's looking for a weak, young boy who can still be molded and groomed and brainwashed. Yes? Okay. But, oh no, it's God who's looking for that. Yeah. He then asked Jesse, are these all the sons you have? Jesse replied, there is still one left, the youngest. He is looking after the sheep. Oh, great, he's just a sheep herder. Ha ha, that's even better. Samuel then said to Jesse, send for him, for we shall not sit down to eat until he arrives. Jesse had him sent for. He had ruddy cheeks with fine eyes and an attractive appearance. I thought that wasn't important. Yahweh, you see right there? This is such a telltale story. Yahweh said, get up and anoint him. He is the one. Oh, yeah. At this, Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him, surrounded by his brothers. And the Spirit of Yahweh seized on David from that day onwards. Samuel, for his part, set off and went to Ramah. Aha. So, interesting too, I did not know this, I have to honestly listen, I did not know that David was already anointed, okay, obviously not made king yet, but anointed to be king of Israel before he struck that Philistine, I think that's what it was, Goliath. them. Yes? Oh, David enters Saul's service. Oh, and then here, Samuel just, okay, done my job, and off he is. Wait a minute, shouldn't he take that boy with him now? Just saying, if in the proper sequence of events, shouldn't he say, okay, this boy needs to come with me now. I need to instruct him properly in the ways of God. So that then, when he does step up as a leader of the people, yes, he will have that connection to God. And maybe then, rather than a king, he could become what? Okay. Samuel just, okay, done my job, and leaves. That's weird. Then David enters Saul's service. What? Why? That makes sense. Let's read on. Now the Spirit of Yahweh had withdrawn from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahweh afflicted him with terrors. And an evil spirit from Yahweh afflicted him with terrors. What the heck kind of sentence is that? Huh? Oh, everybody better be careful. As good as you can be touched by the Holy Spirit coming from God, or you can be touched by something terrible, spirit also coming from God. What the heck does that make sense? I said, the stuff that people want to believe. Father, I'm so sorry. As I said, all self-serving. This is all self-serving to absolve oneself from guilt on being on the wrong path when it comes to just about everything. Saul's servant said to him, an evil spirit from God is undoubtedly the cause of your terrors. Let our Lord give the order. You know what? You go out and you kill just about everyone. How many babies did Saul kill himself? You really think that's not going to stick in your mind? Huh? Helpless women and children and I don't know what. That's not going to... Okay, all right. Yeah, this is interesting because this is also something when I find that people are bothered by certain things. I said, this is probably either your ancestors or something you did, and spirits from the other side, especially killed ones, by ancestors, by yourself, they're not going to be happy. I said that, right? In the 11th hour when I said veterans, one of the things, forgive and be forgiven. And they feel it very keenly at that moment, that last few hours on earth. And here he is, Saul, as what? Night terrors? Anxieties? Depression? Let our Lord and whose fault? Who's to blame? Whose fault is it? Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh yeah. Well, lay it all at the feet of Yahweh God. God is undoubtedly the cause of your terrors. I think it's his own actions. Let our Lord give the order, and your servants who wait on you will look for a skilled harpist. When the evil spirit from God comes over you, he will play, and it will do you good. Saul said to his attendants, find me, please, a man who plays well, and bring him to me. One of the servants then spoke up and said, I have seen one of the sons of Jesse, the Bethlehemite. He is a skilled player, a brave man and a fighter, well-spoken, good-looking, and Yahweh is with him. So Saul sent messengers to Jesse with the order, send me your son David, who is with the sheep. David knew how to play the harp really well. Tending the sheep, he's also playing the harp. How old was he? About 12? Oh my gosh, this is such a joke. All right. Jesse took 5 loaves, a skin of wine, and a kid, and sent them to Saul by his son David. David went to Saul and entered his service. Saul became very fond of him, and David became his armor bearer. Saul then sent a message to Jesse, "Let David stay in my service, since he has won my favor." And whenever the Spirit from God came over Saul, David would take a harp and play. Saul would then be soothed. It would do him good, and the evil spirit would leave him. All right. Now, what a fairy tale. So again, interesting, the story on how David entered up in Saul's, right? I don't know, maybe he did play the harp. No idea. I have no idea. And then becomes the servant of the king of Israel. And then the servant becomes the next king of Israel. Well, that's what we're kind of being told. It sounds to me, and I guess we'll find out more again. Why is this written down in the way it is? How did this really go? And was this truly God's will? Yes? Was this how God wanted to be among his people? They're already, the agenda's going on, this and that. It's for what purpose? And here now, they're using a boy, a young boy, about to, I guess, enter adulthood. Yeah. But definitely still a young boy. No wife, no children, no this, no that. He tends sheep, and he plays the harp. Oh, but that is just, so he was prepared to enter Saul's service so that then he could already be in a position of what? Servant. Servant. David's not adopted as his son or anything. He's servant. Okay. So David basically now tends to a grown man with some afflictions of the mind or whatever, okay, and basically is the one that heals him when he has that, or soothes him when he has that. A child, again, is being used for that. That's that's okay. All right, well, hey, it's okay then, I guess. And God looked favorably upon that. Again, why did Samuel, and what is he learning? What is David learning? It doesn't sound like, it doesn't say in any way on how David grew up under God's guidance, under his father's and mother's guidance, and on how and how that came to be with God in that family's life. It doesn't say anything. Nothing about that. Does David already have a relationship with God as a young boy? Or he knows all the ways on how to please God, keeping the 10 Commandments and all that? Has he been taught? Does he know? Now here he is in Saul's service. That's what? Oh, he's favored. What does that do to a young boy? Already. And Saul has, on top of that, lost favor with God. Saul has rejected God completely. Now he's afflicted by, again, his own conscience, the consequences of his own actions. And so I have no doubt that Saul has completely lost his light to God. He's not even looking. He's not even trying to fix it or anything either. And here this little boy, or this boy, young boy, preteen or something, is now in the hands of this man. And learning what? And here's Samuel, who, I don't know, for one reason or another, isn't taking David. He's not. Saul says, oh yeah, find me someone. And then Brennan says, whoa, this is a cool kid. Really like this kid. Samuel just, oh yep, that's the one. Yep. Saul actually is getting to know David a lot better than Samuel ever will, I guess. Well, Samuel was old. Samuel wasn't too old to still travel from I don't know where to where and this and that. I don't know. Direct people, this and that. So he can't take a young boy with him and say, I must make sure that I raise this boy right until the time is right. To give the people of Israel again what they want, not what God desires. Interesting. What comes to mind? How to groom a child? Oh. How to use children? Ah. For what? The betterment of humankind? Or for the agenda of some? Sounds like especially leadership. No parent in their right mind would send their child to someone that supposedly is afflicted with bad spirits. Right? That right in itself is evil. I guess Samuel can't be reached, so that the father of David could say, hey, he wants David. They want to take David. Should we do that? Anyway, it is what it is, right? Yes? Well, but the story gets so much better, and really God's really involved. Okay, yeah, you keep telling that to yourself. Okay, you go right ahead, do that. I read this as well for the reputation of my Father in heaven, my heavenly parents. I think we should be done with the lies when it comes to the Creator, to God. We should be done with it. We should acknowledge what we have done for so many thousands of years to each other. Yes? And start fixing it. Just start somewhere. To grow towards whose desire? Yeah. It's a beautiful place to grow towards. That's all I have to say. Yes. But one needs to know when one is not on the right path to do so, right? Yes. Yeah. I find that my give and take with God is always full of kindness and emotion and one could say love, though I think that very few people in this world ever really truly experienced love. And on how vulnerable God also is to emotions. Yes. On the side of goodness. All right. Well, anyway, that's what I have to share this morning. This is always me. Protect you, and I will. Talk to you all.